Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidil Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. In our last episode, we said how different schools of jurisprudence emerged in different cities by the Sahaba and by the Tabi'een and by the Taba' Tabi'een. Sahaba are the disciples of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and their students are called Tabi'een, and their students are called Taba Tabi'een. And we said that people were not following a particular madhab. People were not following a particular school. Whosoever was knowledgeable, they were asking and they were finding the solutions for their issues and problems. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the plan and wisdom, and a great scholar emerged in Mecca. His name was Muhammad bin Idris al-Shafi'i, and he was from the Quraysh, and he was from the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and a very, very intelligent man. Imam Shafi'i, Muhammad bin Idris al-Shafi'i, born in 150 Hijri and died in 204 Hijri. He was only 54 when he died. And he acquired the knowledge, but unfortunately his father died when he was very young, and then his mother took him to Yemen, and he memorized the Quran, and he benefited from the Yemeni scholars, and he was master of Arabic language, since he was from Mecca and from the noble family. And then he came to Mecca again from Yemen. And he was so intelligent that when he was 13, the scholars of Mecca made him the Mufti of Mecca. And at that time, Imam Malik was very famous, and he had thousands of his students in Medina, especially from North Africa. Berbers were coming, people from Libya, Algeria, Egypt, and Morocco were coming to Medina and learning the hadith and fiqh from Imam Malik. So Imam Shafi'i, he goes to Medina, and he becomes a disciple of Imam Malik. He stays there for almost a year. Then he goes to Basra and Kufa and Baghdad. He travels to Iraq, and he had the knowledge of Mecca. He had the knowledge of Medina. He had the knowledge of Yemen, because his mother was from Yemen. He was traveling very often to Yemen. Now he tried to acquire the knowledge of Iraq, and he stayed with Imam Muhammad and Imam Abu Yusuf, the disciples of Imam Abu Hanifa. He acquired their knowledge and the traditions reported from different Sahaba, popular in Kufa and Baghdad and Basra. And ultimately, he came up with a new methodology. And he said, why are we following the ahadith of only one city? Why Imam Malik is taking the ahadith only narrated from Sahaba of Medina? Why Imam Abu Hanifa and the people of Kufa are following only the ahadith of Abdullah bin Mas'ud? And he said, why you are following the fatwa of only one city. Because Imam Malik rahimahullah was saying that, to me, the most important thing is Quran, then the traditions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and narrated by Madani Sahaba. Then I take the fatwa of Sahaba narrated by the people who died in Medina, and then the fatwa of Tabi'in who died in Medina. So the deeds of the people of Medina were an example for Imam Malik. And Imam Malik never went outside Medina. He was born in Medina, he died in Medina. Once he went outside Medina, that was for Hajj. So he was saying that my fatwa and my jurisprudence is basically a jurisprudence of Medina. Imam Shafi'i agreed with him, and he set new rules. And he said, I will not bind myself to the ahadith of one city, and I will not bind myself to the jurisprudence of one city. He made new rules. Number one, he said, number one, first of all, I will take the book of Allah, Al-Quran, Kitab Allah. Second thing, I will take the sound traditions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but I will not care if the hadith is from Mecca or Medina or Yemen or Basra or Kufa or Baghdad or Egypt. I will take traditions from all cities as long as they are sound. And the sound ahadith shall be given preference. The sahih ahadith shall be given preference over the weak traditions. And we shall not stick to one city. Then Imam Shafi'i in his last 6 years migrated to Egypt. So he gave lot of fatwa in Baghdad. So the fatwa given by Imam Shafi'i in Baghdad are called his old madhab, old fatwa. But once he goes to Egypt, his new madhab comes, and new fatwa comes. And in the last 6 years, from 198 Hijri to 204 Hijri. And he had new disciples in Egypt. So his students were Za'farani and Karabisi and Abu Sawr and so on in Baghdad. But once he goes to Egypt, Rabi al-Muradi, Buwaiti, Muzni, they became the disciples of Imam Shafi'i, and he incorporated the ahadith he found in Egypt. And he says, as long as I get new information from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I get new ahadith from different other sources and different other cities, I will incorporate them and I will change my fatwa. Because Quran and the ahadith are the basic divine sources of law. Now comes his famous student, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, rahimahullah, born in 164 Hijri and died in 241 Hijri. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal from Baghdad. And his contribution is he traveled to 28 cities. 28 cities. He traveled very extensively, and he collected 40,000 ahadith in his famous book, Al-Musnad, Musnad Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Musnad Ahmad, 40,000. And if you take out the duplications, the number of ahadith in his book, Al-Musnad, they are about 28,000. He was from Baghdad. Several times he traveled to Basra and Kufa, the cities of Iraq. He went to Mecca and Medina many times. He even went to Yemen to see Abdul Razzaq, the famous muhaddis from Yemen. And he went to Rai, the city of Iran. He went to Nishapur, he went to Tus, he went to Turkmenistan, he went to Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Samarkand, Bukhara, and Herat, the city of Afghanistan. And then he went to Egypt and Libya and Algeria and Kairouan and Morocco, and he touched the coastal city of Tunja in Morocco. So that was the extensive travel made by Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. And it was a comprehensive book, and it was easy for scholars to give fatwa in the light of ahadith. He was following the footsteps of Imam Shafi'i, but he has more collection of ahadith from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then a time came when other people came, the disciples of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. So like Imam Bukhari was a student of Imam Ahmad, Muslim and Darimi and Tirmidhi and Ibn Majah and Abu Dawud, all of them were the students of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.